Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle of wine and an old dirt road, and you're ready to go if you want to. Hey, thanks everybody for joining us today. Live Music Nation Podcast Festival Edition. Today, we are with Shane. He is with SiouxperCon. Shane, thanks for joining us. How are you?
I am great, Jake. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. This is any exposure is great exposure, and every year it seems like when we have SuperCon at the Sioux Falls Convention Center, we either have a rodeo or a country concert right next to us in the Denny Sanford Premier Center, and I'm not shocked anymore at the crossover of rodeo fans and country music fans and monster truck fans in horror movies and everything else that we cover in the nerd world.
It goes good for you?
It goes great for us. Like this year, we have the Governor's Cup Rodeo right next to us, which is the last qualifier before Vegas, before the national finals. So we'll be packed. Everybody that's looking to get there to get that big buckle will be their last chance to qualify. So, they'll pull about 10,000. We'll pull about 7,000. And what's great, Jake, and one of the coolest instances that I've had over and over throughout the convention is Saturday night, we have what we call SuperCon After Dark, and we've got a burlesque show. And when you got all the cowboys coming out of the rodeo, and you got all the burlesque people right there, it's a beautiful thing. You've got a melding of worlds, and it's wonderful.
Well, and probably it's probably good for your vendors to have those people walking through.
Dude, it's great for our vendors. Absolutely.
Yeah. Very good. All right, let's jump into it. To the listener that's never been there before, 3 questions that help them out. What does it look like? What does it smell like, meaning food? What does it sound like, meaning activities, entertainment, things going on around them?
What does it look like? It is over 1 million square feet of comic books, vendors, celebrity guests, magic, science, cosplay, Ghostbusters, Mythbusters, panels, educational panels, live cosplay, dance, karaoke, pro wrestling, and like I said, a burlesque show, and a huge family and kids zone sponsored by Dakota News Now. So that's what it looks like. What does it smell like? We always try to support local food trucks, and for the 3rd year, we will have a special craft beer made for us, which is amazing. But we'll have 2 big food trucks out in front of it. Otherwise, you've got your general, convention food. You got the pump handle nachos, you got the chili dogs, you got the now let me tell you one thing though, Jake. Now, as far as smells go, we just addressed this. We got an air purifier. We got a video game room with 40 different screens going and 40 games going at once. That smells not great with teenage boys in there for 3 days for the weekend, but we take care of that. You add that with the chili dogs, it's not a great mix, but we'll take it. We'll take it. So what does it look like? What does it smell like? And what does it
sound like? Activities going on.
Yeah. So, Jake, it sounds like joy, really. Until we started this 8 years ago, there hadn't been a convention like this in South Dakota since 1986, a big convention like this. So we started it 9 years ago now because of the pandemic. But like this year, it's going to be so wonderful because we are benefiting Make-A-Wish. We're a nonprofit, Jake. We throw a big 3-day party, give all the money away, and then beg for money again the next year. So it's going to be the joy of Make-A-Wish kids there meeting, like Sean Gunn from Guardians of the Galaxy and meeting Ash from Pokemon, and it's going to be the screams of terror as Leatherface poses for photos with people, and that'll be great because we've got Leatherface and Stretch from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 coming. It's at the end of it's a lot of laughter and a lot of, hey, see you later. I can't wait to see you next year. I'll hit you up on Twitter. I'll hit you up on Insta. So it's a lot of people meeting for the first time and making relationships. So it's the sound of joy is what it is. It's the sound of 100 vendors counting money.
Perfect. What was one of your most favorite guests to have?
So let me think on that now, because I've had it, and it's hard to see. I come from the comic book world when I got into this, so some of the comic creators I've gotten to be even friends with, but I'd have to say Jim Beaver from Supernatural, Deadwood, he was spectacular. He come and we got the Impala from Supernatural from the pose in front of. Let me tell you what, he's been in, from westerns, to big time TV shows. Man is amazing. He was one of the kindest people in the world. He took time with every single person to make him feel special. Sat, and charmed all. He learned quick. My wife helps with the books for this, and he learned that she had the money, then he ignored me. So he's a smart man too.
Right.
So he was great. He was fantastic. Yeah, I couldn't tell you. He probably stood for 8 hours up and down in front of that Impala one day. Last year on Saturday, posing in front of that. Yeah, we've just had some fantastic. Charlie Schlatter from 18 again, and Diagnosis Murder, and a million other things. He was great. Yeah, I don't know that nobody's been blacklisted. Let's put it that way.
Sure. Who's a guest that surprised you? Maybe different from what you thought they were going to be. Not different bad, not different good, just different.
I can tell you that easily. Chef Justin Warner. From the Food Network. He's often on Guy's Grocery Games. He's a co-host for Guy's big chef challenge that he has on the Food Network. So during the pandemic, Guy Fieri, who I've met a few times, a wonderful guy. Just did that. Guy is a wonderful guy. So I'm watching his grocery games, and he has celebrity chefs on, and I see in the background that Chef Justin has all these pops and all these nerd things up in the background, right? So I figured, shoot my shot. I'm going to ask him to come to SiouxperCon, right? So sure enough, he's like, I'd love to come. Turns out he's got Cook the Marvel Way cookbook. He hosts all the panels out at New York Comic Con. So here I have the celebrity chef out. The very first thing he does, Jake, is we got a panel scheduled for him to meet his fans. And he's been signing books all day. We ran out of his cookbook and had to go to the local Barnes & Noble and buy all theirs and bring them out.
Oh, geez.
So he's scheduled for a panel, and he says to me, people know about me. He says, do you mind if I grab some local creators and lift them up and just be the host of a panel instead of focusing on me? I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. You got a chance from a Food Network star to be interviewing you and lift up your work. Come on. That's right, like you said, it's not surprise, good or bad. It was just a surprise, man.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was wonderful. We had a local artist with his local author with his first book, and a local one of our vendors, so local artisan, and they were just tickled pink to be interviewed by Chef Justin.
Perfect. All right, couple of fun questions because I am in live music and live entertainment. I always ask these two. I just like to survey. This one's going to be interesting coming from you, Shane. Best concert you've ever been to?
Well, the last concert would be the best concert I've ever been to. I've seen probably over 300 live shows. But I'm going to tell you what, Avett Brothers, Duluth. Oh my God. So we're in Duluth on the water, Avett Brothers. I've seen the Avett Brothers 6 times. And every show's been different. Last show I saw, I just filled a bucket list of mine. My wife took me to see The Cure on their new tour. That was an amazing show.
Oh, wow.
I prefer club shows now at my age. I'm 55.
Sure.
I like the big arena shows. Man, I love those intimate clubs. We got the District here in Sioux Falls. Seen a lot of great acts there. Just, a little smaller, a little 300-person, 400-person venue. Slow down in Omaha, drive down to. I like those little clubs. But the best show I've seen, Avett Brothers on the water in Duluth. Fantastic. Okay.
Very good. Very good. Shane, how do people find out more about SiouxperCon?
SiouxperCon.com, SIOUX, like Sioux Falls, where we're held. SiouxperCon.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We are on all the socials. But the easiest way is just to go to our website. You can drop down and find out about all of our different events. You can find out, we've got about half of our 56 celebrity guests announced so far. You can buy tickets, so we've got it all right there. And we have a link to Make-A-Wish, our charity partner this year.
Yep. Not only your patrons, but your guests. I'm sure they appreciate it all. Shane, thanks for being on with us today.
Absolutely, Jake. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle of wine and an old dirt road. Are you ready to go if you want to?